KDB. KDB.
Beats Planet.
Come on in. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Welcome. We love you to pieces. Have a seat. It's another episode of Voch Lombardi Live here on the Volume. We had a fantastic show yesterday. Shouts out to everybody else. Let me just work hard y'all one time for the banger of a show that we had yesterday. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for being here, man, for another day of it here on a Tuesday, a lovely Tuesday. Today I wanted to change things up a little bit, and it ain't really a change up, because if y'all been following the content for a while, y'all know I like to do philosophical things. I like to just get in front of a camera and just talk. So this ain't really a soliloquy, for real, because man, my guy Will's still here. We'll be tossing conversation back and forth or whatever, but I did just want to take these, take these. Look at these. I did want to take this this last Super Bowl. It is what it is. I wanted to look at this last Super Bowl, right? And I wanted to just talk about roster building because, there's this joke I always do that whoever was the last team to win the Super Bowl, that's the blueprint to win the Super Bowl. So if you did it with a bad quarterback and a fantastic team, that's how you win. Or if you went all in and you went and got your quarterback from another team, that's how you do it. If you had the best show on turf with a trash defense or a trash offense, a great kick returner, Rex Grossman, that quarterback, and fantastic. Okay, that's how you do it, right? So I just want to do this yearly. I want to talk about the two teams that's in that was in the Super Bowl, whether they won or they lost. And I just want to talk about their team building strategy. And this is an all 32 episode today. So if you're a Jets fan, watching right now, you could probably get something out of this. And this will pertain to free agency and draft. I know my man's Will Steele this morning touched on a little bit of free agency, but hey man, it's just general offseason talk, man. So let's give that a little bit of a go today. But today I am your host, Lombardicus.
AKA Ferrari.
Let it goddamn drop so much. VOCHLOMBARDI on all social media platforms, being point guarded by the best in the business.
All the way from Bel Air, California, please welcome Will the Thrill.
My man Skywalker Steele. Skywalker STEELE.
Everybody go down.
That's the best one.
Hey man,
that's my favorite one right there, brother.
Come on, man. They don't run out. I got some other little sounds I got uploaded too. If we run into a particular situation in the day, I got some sounds uploaded or whatever, but I just don't want to play it. Just be playing. We'll cross the road whenever we get there. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, fam. How you?
Man, life good, man. I can't complain, bro.
We talking about being old.
The problems that we run into are great problems to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always said to my old friends, I used to work at Pizza Hut delivering pizza. So don't just think Voch just coming from nowhere when I say this. I've actually, me and Will still work to get here. And I just remember talking to my friends at Pizza Hut. I was like, man, I can't wait till I pay taxes. And they didn't understand what I was saying. You know what I mean? Like Voch, why you want to pay tax? Because in my mind, if you pay taxes, that means you've done well for like the other 11 months. You know what I mean? As opposed to you get tax money like for one time in whatever month, but times it's hard driving for Pizza Hut and shit for the other 11 months. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, I can't wait to pay tax. But now that I'm here paying them shits, I'm like, yo, volume. I'm like, hey, volume. Hit me up, dog. The fuck? Yeah. Toxic Tom says, I'm an accountant, Voch. That ain't true. Well, send me an email, motherfucker. Give me some information and make it not true. Send me an email at vochlombardi at gmail.com.
We about to hit up Toxic Tom for our accounting situations.
Hey, Toxic Tom,
Come on. Well, we gotta be careful though, because the Toxic Tom might be the dude from The Accountant. You ever see that movie?
Not Ben.
Oh, Ben Affleck. Yes, fantastic movie, bro.
He's the assassin in real life.
Yeah, that movie's so good.
I haven't seen it, but I should definitely
put that on your list.
I should definitely check it out.
He's a genius in real life. That happens to be an assassin.
I like that so much. I may watch that like tonight. Like tonight. We'll come back and talk about it tomorrow. Yeah. All right, let's get into some of this philosophies. Let me do this too. The phones.
The conference has been unlocked.
Are unlocked. Y'all can feel free to call into the show. The number is 202-926-1127. Access code 309-104. I would love to hear from y'all. Tap in with me. Patreon.com/Voch Lombardi is where we watch the film. And we'll be starting Hogwarts Legacy on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. It's my non-football platform. So Will Steele, the first thing that I just had on my mind when I was thinking about this topic, right, is oh shit, the analytics boys about to have a fit because a high-paid quarterback just won the Super Bowl, right? That's the first thing that just popped up in my mind when I was thinking about this exercise, right? And the first pushback that I would give to myself from that thought is, yeah, Voch, but that's Pat Mahomes making all that money. You know what I'm saying? Pat Mahomes can be the guy that can have a wide receiver 2 all-star team and, go win a Super Bowl with him. In case y'all not privy to, to my joke, the wide receiver 2 all-star team, Pat went into the Super Bowl with dudes that didn't nobody else want on their old team. So Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jiu-Jitsu Smith, who was a free agent, Kadarius Toney was a guy that they didn't want, and he got there differently than the other 2 guys. And then, draft or whatever, right? So the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, Eagles and Chiefs, they both have different quarterbacks. In my mind, I think they have different quarterbacks at totally different skill levels. And I don't even think I'm saying nothing weird by saying that Pat Mahomes is a much different skill level of quarterback than Jalen Hurts is. Pat Mahomes, in my opinion, is a God tier level quarterback. And this ain't disrespectful when I say this, but Jalen drives that truck very well. And it's a fantastic truck, though. Will Steele, ain't nothing wrong with driving a truck well, or driving the what they call it, the bus, driving the bus well. That's a fancy ass bus with fucking spinning rims on it. and a goddamn sound system and a damn jacuzzi in the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not disparaging Jalen Hurts. It's just one of the best buses that we've ever seen. Go ahead, Will.
And to be fair, that's what you want your young quarterback to do.
Absolutely.
As they're developing.
And that's a part of the process, right? Because at some point, Jalen Hurts is going to cost a little more money and everything is going to be a little different for him, right? But in this particular time, while he's developing as a quarterback, and you have the advantage of Jalen Hurts on this cheap contract. So yes, him being on this cheaper contract, you can spend all the monies in the world because Jalen Hurts not making $50 million yet. Once he makes $50 million, you probably can't sign a Dom Gasu, Linval Joseph, and go get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to do that. But while you do have a quarterback in this bus driver phase, even Dak Prescott had a bus driver phase. There's nothing wrong with that. While you have this, go ahead.
I think you can do those moves. The moves that you might not be able to do if we're gonna play in this game is the Reddick, the Hassan Reddick type of deals.
Yeah.
Those other moves were vet minimum type deals, and CJ Gardner-Johnson was still on a rookie deal.
Sure. And if you think about it, they made moves to help Pat also. You know what I mean? And you can help me with this, Will, still. So I do think the Eagles were the better team in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from top to bottom. But like I always said, even these Hurts versus Prescott conversations, I always think that quarterback, matters. And if you have a big advantage in quarterback, then you're probably gonna walk away with that win. But Pat Mahomes not all the time, but Pat Mahomes was a guy, right, to where he loses Tyreek Hill, he loses his wide receiver one. And unlike the Cowboys, by the way, this ain't Cowboys Day, but we're gonna talk about the Cowboys a lot. Unlike the Cowboys, we go, all right, we just gonna trust our guys. They didn't just trust their guys. They didn't just say, oh well, Mecole Hardman, when we drafted him from Georgia, he's another fastest dude in the draft. We just gonna treat him like Tyreek Hill. They didn't do that. They brought dudes in, right, and then they changed the system accordingly. That's what the Chiefs did. The Eagles, right? They went and got some of the best dudes they could possibly find, right? They went to give me Brown, man. I'm gonna send you some assets to go get AJ Brown. He's a dude that can uplift Jalen Hurts, right? Juju Smith ain't uplifting Pat Mahomes nowhere. You know what I mean? Juju Smith along for the ride. Marquez Valdez-Scantling along for the ride. But if you have an elite type quarterback like Pat Mahomes, we could even say like a Josh Allen type guy, Joe Burrow. We'll talk about Joe Burrow because he got a fantastic cast. But those dudes uplift their wide receivers. The other side of that coin is, all right, we need some dudes on top of coaching, Steichen, system, all that kind of shit. We want dudes that are gonna uplift Jalen Hurts. And Devontae Smith and AJ Brown are two different type guys. Devontae Smith being I remember watching film on him being like a smooth route runner, can play inside, inside, outside, can do all things type of receiver. AJ Brown is he runs his 9 routes sometimes too, but his big thing is give me the ball and let me work type dude. He's much more of a yak guy than Devontae Smith. And then you build offensive line around him. Pat Mahomes also needed some line help. So I think what these two teams have in common, Will, still, and I'm gonna ask you this, or just let you touch on this. What these two teams had in common, Will, still, is that they did not ignore offensive line at all. They didn't ignore offensive line at all. They both did wide receiver different. They both kind of did running back different. They kind of did tight end a little different. Goddard was a guy that came up behind Ertz or whatever. Then he kind of went into that role. Kelsey's been this guy with them since like Alex Smith or whatever, but he was there. But neither one ignored offensive line. Will, still, would you say that offensive line was the most important piece for both these teams in the Super Bowl run?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's true. The Eagles had one of the best offensive lines, and so did the Chiefs. Nobody really talked about it. But they got an extremely talented line. There's no doubt about that.
These boys went and go get got. Them boys, pardon my natchez, them boys went to go get Orlando Brown. Them boys went to go get the Thuney. Right. They went to go get him. They drafted Creed Humphrey because they just couldn't be in another situation where all right, we're in the Super Bowl.
Don't forget Smith. That was a first round talent, but Trey Smith.
Let me tell you something about Trey Smith.
That fell because of. Yeah.
I'm documented on this channel somewhere. Y'all can go search. I'm documented on this channel of just being such a fan of Trey And I was actually mad that they moved him to guard because in my mind, Trey's a fantastic tackle in my mind. And it's weird to me because Niang that they got from TCU plays tackle for him. I thought he'd be the better guard. And Trey Smith, Tennessee, I believe, they got him at guard, and I thought he'd be the better tackle. So that's kind of weird that they
made it work.
They made it work, motherfucker. It is what it is. But what was interesting is that neither one of them slacked at the offensive line position. I think that's so important. So just me being a Cowboy fan moving forward, nobody wants to do the non-sexy thing. Everybody wants to, make the sexy picks. But man, them offensive line picks, man, like hitting on Mayada in day 3, like that's huge for them, right? Landon Dickerson, that's huge for them. Lane Johnson is a dude that's always been a dude his whole life, bro. But and Kelsey, of course, but just not having question marks on your offensive line. And they treated offensive line with such urgency. Let me make this Cowboy related real fast. I hate the idea that, and man, we can have a conversation about the Connors and how much I hate, Connor McGovern or whatever. But Tyler Smith was brought here to be left side player. I get that. And the plan was for Tyler Smith to come in and play guard and Tyron play left tackle. Oh, and Will Steele, I was ready to do a little happy dance, right? But we saw how things kind of changed a little because look, we was in camp and we saw Tyler Smith mauling the shit out of people at guard. And we saw it through the preseason. We saw it throughout the season. I think one of the issues that the Cowboys ran into, I'm just making this about my team, is that we just kept moving parts, right? Tyler ended up going to left tackle, or Terrence ended up getting hurt, or Peters ended up at guard. Then Peters ended up at right tackle. Then Peters ended up at left tackle. I don't think Peters was that good anyway. You know what I mean? Peters was cool for you, but I don't think he was if it's a urgency versus the number one defense and we going to go win a Super Bowl, bro, Jason Peters can't be on your offensive line. Connor McGovern can't be on your offensive line. Cowboys got hit with an injury bug for sure, but what I'm saying now is that in this offseason, something that I would just love to see. It's not going to be sexy. But at the very beginning of the Jason Garrett era, shouts out to him. If he did anything, he said, hey, man, we need to rebuild his offensive line, bro. I would love for the Cowboys to do that now because, and look, even if we talk about the teams that lost in the round before, even Cincinnati, the Bengals, even they found urgency in, we got to fix offensive line. You know what I'm saying? So the one thing just team building wise, I don't want for my Cowboys to do is to go into this draft and to go into free agency and just ignore the idea that, bro, offensive line is important here. We could talk running back. We could talk wide receivers all we want to, but maybe Zeke would have had more success if the O-line was better. Look, Terrence Steele got hurt and that thing went to trash, Will Steele. That thing went to trash after Terrence Steele got hurt. Tyron had to come in and play. Tyler gets moved all over the place. So in my mind, if I've learned anything from these two teams and as many things that we learn here is I definitely need to put some work into my offensive line. And I hope the Cowboys do that.
If you're talking about Dallas does that.
For sure.
Dallas, they've dedicated probably more first-round picks on the offensive line than any team in the National Football League.
Over the past decade, for sure. But what I don't want, though, Will, still, this is my point. What I don't want is I don't want us to go into the next season going, let's just see what Josh Ball could do. Let's just see what Connor McGovern could do. I really want us to put assets into this thing because I could see the dividends that get paid out by really investing in the offensive line. And they do it. They do draft offensive line every single year, but I ain't talking about just a well, let's go guy. I don't want to just roll my dice with these guys.
Tyler Smith's a first-round pick.
Tyler Smith is definitely a first-round pick going
Zach
into
Martin,
this year.
Tyron Smith, Tyler Biadasz traded up to go. Like I don't foresee them not addressing the offensive line because that's what they do. I come out of this saying that both of these teams don't leave a stone unturned.
Yes,
like Philly has always put assets into their offensive line for 2 decades. I mean, we can go back to the Trey Smith, Gabe Jackson, John Runyon. Like that's part of their identity. And honestly, the Cowboys are trying to have morphed into that dating back to 2011. Now the Chiefs, they realized they had an issue after the 2020 Super Bowl and said, we got to go do something about it. But they also don't leave any stone unturned from other positions. They went out, paid Tyrann Mathieu, and then came back and got a Justin Reed. Talking about the safety position. They went out and they traded for a Frank Clark at the defensive end position. Over on the other side, we know the guys that they've brought in. They don't leave Brett Veach and Howie Roseman, do not leave any stone unturned. That was my takeaway coming out of this general manager battle or what have you, team building battle. We all believe that, the trenches matter, but so do everything else. And these teams don't ignore that, right? They go out. I mean, the Kaiser Whites, that was even, I think, a quality signing, understanding that they had an issue from an athletic standpoint at the linebacker position. Like, those general managers don't play. During the season, go get me Gardner Johnson. Go get me Tony. Go get me Joseph. Go get me, you know what I mean? They don't leave any stone unturned. And I think if I was a GM or a fan of all these other teams, I would say I want our front office to act that way. Don't leave anything out there if it's attainable.
And we're going to definitely get to all that, though, because this is a longer show. We got 20 more minutes. But I just wanted to touch on offense. And look, I understand that, right? Zach Martin is getting old. You know what I mean? Tyron and Jason might be gone this year. We'll see. And my overall point was I didn't see these two teams, right? Like, they just went to go get Landon Dixon, Eagles or whatever, right? And the Chiefs just went to go get whatever. What I don't want to do, and I understand Tyler, but this year in particular, we talking about this year going on. I don't want us to just go into this thing because I've heard the rumors. Oh, Cowboys think about bringing back Conor McGregor. Man, I don't want to do that no more, man. I don't want to just be like, I'm cool with this piece. I don't want to be cool and see if Josh Ball can develop. I want to see if Lesko develop. I think draft and develop works with some positions, right? I think the cornerback position, I think this is just Cowboy talk right now. Pass rushes, cornerback, like Cowboys develop those guys well. Safeties, they develop those guys well. And to be fair, Terrence Steele is a shining example of a developmental guy that worked out or whatever. I just don't want to lean on the idea that, hey, let's just work on like go draft me a tackle, bro. Go get me a first round tackle, or let's go spend assets on a tackle. So we're not just hoping Josh Ball develops, because we tried that shit last year. 2 years ago, going into this year, we was like, all right, let's see where Josh Ball is at. Josh Ball ain't ready, man. Josh Ball is not ready, and I don't want to be in a world to where, all right, if something happens, I'm just relying on Josh Ball. I want to fill that offensive lineup as much as I possibly can. Great conversation. Let me ask you this. Do you think the league, not just Cowboys right now, all 32, and you can Cowboy bias this, Cowboy in particular, do you think the league is going to stand firm on this whole running back thing? Bijan Robinson in this draft now. Tony Pollard is a free agent guy. I'm sure there's some other running backs around the league that's having money conversations or whatever. Saquon is a money guy right now. We just talking about running backs in general. Do you think this league is gonna, get 10 toes down on the whole running back situation? Because what we saw from the two teams in the championship game, Super Bowl, is that we saw 7th round pick, and I don't know where Benny Snell and Philip Gainwell.
The highest guys were 2nd round Sanders and 1st round was Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde. Yeah, Clyde didn't play. So do you think the league going into this offseason where Saquon, Tony Pollard, Bijan Robinson are big talking points, team building wise, right? And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Do you think the league is going to be firm on not putting too many assets, whether it be draft, whether it be cap money, into running backs? And do you expect what's your opinion on if the Cowboys retain Tony Pollard for $10 million?
Well, from a league standpoint, it already has, right?
Yeah,
I think it's already shifted that way. That's why you've only seen a handful of running backs go in the 1st round. Not even a handful, like one. You might get like one running back going in the 1st round in the NFL draft, and then you get a handful of guys that get paid every so often. I think the latest might have been Cook. Was that like the latest dude to get kind of the bag at the running back position? I think it might have been Cook.
Cook, McCaffrey maybe.
Yeah, McCaffrey got his. I know Saquon. So I think the league has already adapted to that. Dallas, I mean, that's a different story. If we talking about Dallas, they fall in love with the running back position, and we could be in a different type of mess over there because they want to bring back Zeke. So I'll be fine beefing up the O-line and just and beefing up the scheme and just getting a running back on day 2 or 3 of the draft. Honestly, I'm down about building up the line and making sure you have a run scheme as opposed to paying running backs a lot of money or using high draft capital on it. Because look, running back people, you can get mad at me all you want. It's the easiest position to replace. Point blank, period.
I've changed my tune on this 3 times over the past couple weeks. You know what I mean? Because at first I was like, I don't need big resources at running back. Just for whatever reason, I was like, hey man, just give me a committee, give me a power guy, give me a pass catcher, give me a runner. Let's just boogie, right? And then we heard Michael Lombardi talk. He called into the G-Bag Nation and just disrespected the shit out Kellen Moore and Jason Garrett. Called that man joystick while his wife was listening. Evil motherfucker. And he said Tony Pollard should get the money because he's not a runner. He's a weapon, right? And that's cool. But then the Super Bowl happens, and I see, hey, if you need to throw the ball to somebody, throw it to McKinnon. You need to run it, give to Isaiah. If you want to do some funky little stuff at running back, there's a Kadarius Toney on our team that we can do some, get in my running back stance and do some whatever, right? Same with the Eagles. They have this committee approach to where they just don't have one guy that they're leaning on. And Will still, my mind changed again. And I love Cousin Tony. We share a last name. I love calling him cousin. I think he's one of the best player or one of the best running backs in the league. I think it's a shame how the Cowboys used him. But watching both these Super Bowl teams, Will still, and Chad, I can ask y'all the same question. Tony Pollard for $10 million, yes or no? I'm asking both chats right now. I'll be looking in the comments. Bro, I'll be fine with
the tag.
Give me, I don't even know about the tag, Will still, because I can take that $10 million and go do something with it.
That's why I was like, that's the tag.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So the whole franchise, because that's the rumor, right? Cowboys thinking about franchise and Tony Pollard, right? My whole thing will still, bro. Just running back wise, I'm like, man, F them backs, bro. F them backs. When I'm ready to throw the ball, I'll just throw it to the running back that catch the ball. When I'm ready to run it, I'll give it to a running back. When I want like short yards, I'll give it to my Jalen Hurts type running back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's, you know, like it's so many options to be diverse in your offense. And we've seen Mike McCarthy do this. I've mentioned this a million times. Sorry if y'all heard it before, but Ty Montgomery, James Starks, Lacey. We saw that combination from Mike McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? So what would that look like for us? Hey man, give me Kevontae Turpin could be your Kadarius Toney guy. You know what I'm saying? Malik is a guy that that can run for you. Rico Dow's a guy that can run for you. Give me a guy with some burst. Give me like another speedy, runny, bursty guy. We should be straight. We should be straight. But I don't know.
It's a fascinating conversation because again, we're just talking about Cowboys now.
Mm-hmm.
If you just tag Tony, it's not a long-term commitment. It's 1 year, $10 million. And if you utilize him as that dual threat, we had this conversation multiple times. If you're going to pay a running back, they got to be able to do more than just run.
Mm-hmm. You paying Tony Pollard 10, or would you rather take that 10 and build your offensive line?
I mean, who am I getting? That got to be better than Tony Pollard, right? Like that's you can't give me a specific player in Tony Pollard who is exceptional. I believe one of the best dual threat backs in the league for 1 year at $10 million, or who for $10 million? Because what are we talking about? $10 million a year? We talking about $10 million total, 2 years? Because if you 2 years, $10 million, I'm getting Connor Williams, Connor McGovern.
Skywalker still is a shicey dude, and he'll never let me get away with an easy question.
That ain't easy because Tony Pollard is a top 5 back to me. That can do both things. And if you're talking about 1 year, $10 million, or Connor McGovern, come on, bro, I ain't even close. Give me Tony Pollard.
How much is what's the going rate for like a miscellaneous wide receiver right now? Not a top guy, nothing like that. But what's the wide receiver number for like a miscellaneous wide receiver?
Like a Gallup?
Nah, because Gallup leave a bad image in my mind. You know what I mean? But like if you so not Juju Smith-Schuster, because I don't think I'm just not a fan of it. But how much is he gonna end up costing if you was to sign him?
I believe his market value is above 10 million. So looking around at $11-12 million per year range.
11-12. Do you want to upgrade? Never mind, because we're still gonna be like, well, Voch.
No, because if it's Juju Smith-Schuster, give me Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony's definitely the better player, but wide receiver is more valuable than running back. You know what I mean? I can make Tony out of 3 dudes.
See, here's what pisses me off about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We have not even fully utilized Tony Pollard to his full advantage, right?
Hell no.
And we sprinkle it in there, and I think it alters our effect of what he could be. If you would have put him with Sean Payton, Sean McVay, Steichen, Andy Reid, who's the other dude over there? Shanahan. We'd be sitting here like Tony Pollard at $10 million for 1 year. Are you kidding me? We wouldn't even be thinking twice about it, bro. But because the Cowboys, we don't know how to utilize the dude. It's like, with Tony Pollard, he's just a running back. And he is a running back, but for one season. If I can get him and I can get him to utilize him to catch 60, 70, 80 balls and run the rock,
Sure.
I mean, yeah, for one, I'm not invested long term.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, still, before you leave, does defense win championships?
Sure they do.
These two teams were much more better offenses than defense. I'm just asking.
Offenses win too.
Right. Look, I'm not trying to get you to lean one way or the other, right?
I mean, it was one of those Joe Sandberg defense win championship. Is that it? I mean, sure they do.
They do.
They do.
You know what I mean? They do. But let's say the last 6 or so teams that was in the 6 or 7, 8 teams in the playoffs were offensive heavy teams, right? Would you so this Cowboys defense you would say is already put together or whatever, right? We'll just use Cowboys to make this easy. Cowboys defense is one that I have trust in, and you can give me this Cowboys defense right now the way it is, and boom, boom, boom. In this offseason, would you put more resource into making the juggernaut offense to where you got to keep up with Jalen Hurts, you got to keep up with Pat Mahomes? If you're running Joe Burrow, you got to keep up with them. Or do you try to build a defense to stop those guys? Because the Eagles put a lot of resources into their defense, and Eagles fans will tell you that it's Jonathan Gannon's fault. They all just want to lean on Jonathan Gannon now. They'll tell you that it's Gannon's fault. But the Eagles, we felt like had the defense to stop anybody. They had the talent to stop anybody, right? But it just came down to Pat and Andy Reid and all those guys having the best offense. So with that in mind, are you trying to make your offense better, or would you want to make your defense bulletproof this offseason?
There's no such thing as a bulletproof defense anymore. But with this specific Cowboys specific, yeah, I'm gonna help out our worst unit, and that's the offensive side of the ball. Not even thinking twice about it, because I got a defensive coach that I know I can get solid guys, and he can help raise their level of play. Offensively, you're going to need better dudes. You just are.
Yeah. I think about what the Eagles did on defense, right? Like even when their defense was set, and I felt like it was a good defense already, they just keep adding dudes. They added dudes all year. We just drafted Jordan Day. We're just gonna keep adding dudes. Linval, big ass, and Ndamukong Suh out there, and they played plays in the game. You know what I mean? Hey, bring them dudes in, man. We're gonna continue to upgrade our linebacker situation. We're gonna upgrade, corners or whatever, DBs and all that, safeties. But Jalen Hurts is cheap, so you could do that, right? The Chiefs, did they do something to make their defense better, or they just rolled the same defense out there? They just leaned on Chris Jones and some of their stud guys. Nick Bolton had a hell of a game, and boy, we talked about Nick Bolton for a long time. We was talking about doubling up at linebacker. How fun would that have been to have Nick Bolton here? But besides that, we didn't see the Chiefs put as much resources into defense as they as the Eagles did.
I mean, Justin Reed was not cheap.
That's fair.
Yeah. I believe they traded or signed Frank Clark years ago. So I mean, they don't go out and spend a whole bunch of money every year. But again, Tyrann Mathieu, another guy that they brought in to help win the Super Bowl. So I mean, they put money over there for sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking about my team and just my team, Cowboys, right? In my mind, I'm going, all right, do I want to do what the Eagles did, but on offense, man, give me another running back, give me another wide receiver. Or do I want to just really fill up 2 spots on my offense, right? I really want my offensive line to be good, and I really want my defense line to be good. And all the rest of my resources, I really want my offensive line to be good and my wide receiver core to be good. Then after that, I just throw all the other resources into defense. Because I love what you said when you said that there's no such thing as a bulletproof defense. And it's not. Because even when the Cowboys defense felt bulletproof for a while, offense is just so sophisticated and different now. You're just going to find holes in it. Eagles defense, fantastic defense all year. Dak rolls up and put hands all, Dak just do what he do, you know what I'm saying? And then, Pat go and does what he does. I truly feel like no matter what you do, you know, I don't think small additions to your defense is going to help you as much as having dudes. You know what I'm saying? And the Eagles made a bunch of small additions, right? Like they added a bunch of guys, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like Cowboys team building in particular, I think the Michael Parsons guys are going to win it for you, right? I wouldn't just want like another rotational 3-tech type of guy. I want like a gangster at 3-tech.
I think you're forgetting that they signed Hassan Reddick.
That's fair.
So they added dogs on both sides of the ball.
Sure.
And that goes back to leaving no stone unturned. You know, that's
Sure.
what I want my front office to do if I'm a fan of one of these teams.
And the Eagles turned all them shits over.
Boy, did they.
They turned every single
It was collecting stones.
a pocket full of stuff. 17 Pro Bowlers will still, you know what I mean? And Pat went out there and got him by 3. I was just looking at how both teams put their Super Bowl rosters together, man. And you know, and like I said, this is an all 32 production or whatever. So if you a Giants fan, you could be asking yourself, man, do I really want to pay this money to Saquon Barkley? Do I really want to pay this money to Daniel Jones? Should I just go, you know what I mean? Make a run at, I don't know, Derek Carr or something and just put pieces around him. I think this is a valid conversation for everybody watching right now. You know, like unless you're in the top 3 or something like that, you know, Bengals, you know, whatever. But the more I watch the Super Bowl, will still, and look, I'm a Cowboy fan up and down, bro. Like I feel like we're gonna win the Super Bowl whenever I have a conversation with them. You know what I mean? Voch, you gonna win the Super Bowl? Yes. But when I watched the Super Bowl, the more it came down on me that, man, my team wasn't gonna be able to, you know, do nothing with that situation. My team wasn't gonna be able to do nothing with this. You know, well, when Pat Mahomes does that, what would my team have done? When the Eagles go up by this number of scores, with Kellen Moore stop running the ball, would he panic right here? Would he boom, boom, boom? And I just thought about this thing a lot, man. And you know, no stone unturned, Will. Still, you said it, sir. You said it. You know, take any weakness that you have and try to put assets into it. Even if, because you do have a quarterback that's paid right now, even if like those stones ain't got to be like big money stones everywhere. Like those stones can simply be just like role playing stones that just come. Like Maddox had a huge role for the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? He's not a like a big player for them, but he's a big player in terms of the role that he did play for them. You know what I mean? And I just want to fill my team up with role players. And I think you're gonna have to, because you know Cowboys have paid Dak Prescott at this point. But
these teams did exactly what Stephen Jones always says, but he's lying, and that's a player personnel is 365 days a year.
Sure,
these teams did that. They got multiple dudes that helped them get to the Super Bowl, and then for the Chiefs, guys that played off big time in the Super Bowl that they got in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Fair enough. Good talk, Will. Still appreciate you. We made it 4:00. Let's get into the phones, man. See what y'all got on this topic.
The conference has been locked.
My bad, y'all. Locked it up. Y'all know we lock the phones at 4:00 every day. So let's hear what y'all got to say. Y'all can call. Today Tuesday, so y'all can talk draft. You can talk. Your team is all Cowboy fans on the phone right now. So you can talk about Cowboy draft if you want to, offseason team building, whatever you got. Let's hear from y'all and see what we got here. Yo, Jack call yesterday was so great. He just gets to be the first call for the day. So we're just gonna tap in with him. Jack, what's happening?
he in the car, passed out.
Yeah. Yo,
You might check on Jack.
Call off your blinker, Jack. He'll be back.
He must have went to the stove.
Yeah, he must have ran inside, paid for the gas or something. It's all good. We'll be back for Jack. Let's get Joe Sandberg on the phone. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Voch, how's it going?
What's good with you, Joe?
Well, I was going back to the Super Bowl roster. Dude, like a lot of these teams, like both of them really drafted really well. Where I was like taking offensive linemen.
Yeah.
But I do think like there is something to actually like leaving no stone left unturned to get. If you feel like you're weak at receiver, whatever, just I don't care how good your quarterback is.
Sure.
It's okay to get him something that would be an upgrade that, and not because all receivers will be like taking up a certain amount of money or resources.
Sure. And both teams kind of did wide receiver different. You know what I mean? Like there's no wide receiver one in Kansas City, but they didn't roll Noah Brown out there. You know what I mean? They went and got a wide receiver 2 all-star team, and they made it work. On the other hand, Jalen Hurts, different kind of quarterback than Pat Mahomes, so he's probably going to need a little more help, and they got better help for him. So for sure, everybody's going to be building wide receiver differently.
And I did like about what both teams actually brought to the table of having some type of interior defensive lineman that actually can get push the pocket.
That's a good point. I mean, Eagles did everything on the D line. Like they went and got everybody on. They got Robert Quinn and didn't even play him. You know what I mean? They did everything on the D line. But Kansas City at least had Chris Jones and Kalen Saunders. I was a fan of him in the Senior Bowl process. That's all you got, Joe?
Not quite yet. Okay. There is something, a discussion to be had of what is the ideal cornerback to look like in the league, because I was looking through just seeing how many. I saw the Eagles actually got juked out or misread like different amount of plays, like right near the red zone. What is the ideal cornerback to look like?
Man, that was schemed. I mean, they just got out schemed there.
Yeah, for sure. They got some replays going around Twitter, which is interesting, fun to look at. But they'll send a dude in motion, and the Eagles wanted to go all in on not getting beat on jet sweeps, so they'll bump everybody over in man coverage, but they'll over bump everybody and they wouldn't readjust. So they'll do like this yo-yo motion. They'll go out. I mean, they'll go they'll go in but back out. So they'll fake the jet sweep motion, but they'll just go back out to the flats and they'll be wide open because the Eagles have over adjusted and bumped everybody over in man cover. So that was just scheme. Like Andy Reid was just running circles and dabbing at the end of that shit, man. That's just what that is, bro. That wasn't wide receiver. I mean, that wasn't cornerback 2 ideal stuff. That wasn't like, player, like that was all just, hey, we did too much to not get jet sweep, but the damn flats was wide open. So that's all that was.
Well, in that case, coaching 100% matters then. 100%,
Mr. Wolf, and that goes back to something that Will always talked about. Appreciate it, Joe. Good call, brother.
Thank you.
It don't matter how many pieces you got. What my OC look like. That's something Will still always say. So we'll see what that looks like. Jack, you back?
Absolutely. Hey, Scott.
It was good, Jack.
Hey, Scott.
You.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Life good, man. We can't complain, sir. Can't complain.
And that's cool. Hey, look, as you were doing your monologue, I was listening, and I believe other than Patrick Mahomes, our offense is really constructed almost similar to Kansas City. We have a back that can catch the ball, as you said. We have Kadarius Toney type player in number 9. Only thing we're missing is somebody to stretch the field other than them two.
Right.
And I'm like, well, why can't we mimic that kind of offense? And he's had every opportunity. So I believe with this new regime that's taken over, I believe that they will accomplish that if they attack wide receiver or get us some other, running back help or offensive line help in the draft. More so wide receiver.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? And and somebody said yesterday that I was really aggressive. I'm not really aggressive. I'm passionate about my shit. You understand you?
That's a difference, huh? Jack, I do feel like the Cowboys had adequate weapons, you know what I mean? But who's calling plays for it, I just think it's peculiar that we never tried Kevontae Turpin in a traditional offensive type situation, right? It was always some type of weird trick play when Turpin got involved. And look, man, if we know anything about Turpin, bro, we know he can run. We know he can escape people. You know what I mean? Like we know he can move. So even if you go, oh well, he can't run routes. Man, a lot of wide receivers nowadays ain't running routes. They just getting open, or they're running across, or they're running a 9. Or you're not gonna tell me that Turpin can't catch, because I mean, you ain't trying to throw the ball to him. So in my mind, maybe it's an offense is too difficult for Turpin, and that can go to our offense not making it easy for the players. But I'm sure when they call some of these plays for like AJ Brown, cross the formation, you're gonna end up on like Michael Parsons or something, and we'll throw it to you. Just outrun everybody else. You know what I mean? Like it ain't got to be difficult. It ain't got to be different looks. It ain't got to be different things stacking on top of each other. And I think sometimes if you try to make the offense too smart, it takes away from the player's natural ability. You know, so I think we got guys. I just don't think that we use them. Like there's no way, semi-fast running ass can't be useful for you somehow. Or Turpin, quick little fast running. You know what I mean? Like he can do something for you. CD can run 9 routes. I know he can do it because I've seen him do it his whole life. He been able to do it, So hopefully Mike McCarthy got enough sense to use the guys that we got.
And that goes back to our conversation that we were having maybe a couple of days when I was talking about Kellen not maximizing the players that we had, or he's just used to. Just a bad evaluator of talent. I think that's what he is. I think he's a bad evaluator of talent. Because we have the talent. Even if you look at the players that we have on our roster, look at their college tape. Look at Semi Fioka. Semi Fioka was a down the field threat at 6'3", and he runs a 4.4.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way you're going to tell me he's not fast enough to get open.
Sure.
He's not big enough to get open. Paul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I just think it's a new season.
Yeah.
And I think we should. And if we don't, then off with McCarthy's dome.
Yeah, I agree. Jack, appreciate you. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good one, Doc.
Already. I'm gonna be lit tomorrow.
Yes, sir. What's good with you, Will? I see you reading something with a bad look on your face.
No, I was listening to him. I just couldn't disagree more. I don't think the Cowboys' offense is anything remotely close to being built like the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That is a space ball offense. And they draft and sign guys to Kadarius Toney, Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill. Like that is a space ball. The Williams kid, they had the Robinson kid a few years ago. We can only got to get in the scheme. Our offense is as methodical, slow as hell, not a unique offense, no creativity, and that's the different part about it. But I don't think it's even built the same from the personnel standpoint. So I just disagree with that. And I was trying to find out. I was trying to listen in and see where it could be similar. I don't think it's anything is similar.
That's where I think he was more so leaning to like personnel stuff. Like we got guys, but we just ain't using them. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a guy in Turpin that could be a difference. I feel you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what I think. What I think Jason said. I think that he's saying that, and it goes back to what you always say, who's calling plays for me, right? I don't think you have to make things so difficult to get Turpin involved or to get Tolbert involved or to get, Semi was hurt. But, Semi's a guy that can do something for you, you know what I mean? And it's not like the Chiefs make things terribly difficult or complex for their guys. They just get the ball and they're gonna make plays or whatever, right? So I think what Jack was attempting to say is that we got guys with different builds and skill sets and traits and things like that. Why can't we do easy things to get those guys involved? That's what I think Jack was saying.
Okay.
But no, we're not like the Chiefs. We're not like the Chiefs necessarily. No. But then Jack could be saying something totally different. I don't know. But let's get $100 grand on the phone. We haven't heard from him in a minute. What's up, bro?
What's good, my guys?
Cool and player. What you got for the show?
I was listening, and when you watch the Super Bowl, the main thing that came out of that Super Bowl was the way that they schemed to beat the Eagles. They knew that the Eagles would bite on a certain formation. They would see a formation and they would say, okay, we going. So they should straight fake them out. We can do that with the wide receivers that we have. We can do the same thing. If you notice a tendency that they're going to bite on the formation that they see and you just straight fake them out, your guys are going to get open. You don't need a speed guy for that. Yeah. You don't need, you know what I'm saying, a tremendous route runner for that. You know, it'd be great to have, and I do want to have some more speed on our offense, but the coordinators are very important. Dan Quinn came in, turned the defense around because of his coordination.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Right? And they also took resources and put it into the defense to also make that happen. So if we turn around and we say, okay, we're going to take all these picks, straight offense. What would you feel about that? Along with the fact that we got rid of a coordinator that wouldn't do that. He said, this is my scheme. This is what I want to do. Button hooks and all of that. if you option routes, this is what I want to do. And if it's not working, it's not because of the personnel that we have. Sure. It's because of the fact that this is my scheme and this is what I want to do. And if it's not working, then we just gonna go down with the ship. That's what Stephen Jones straight just said, you know, and we have evidence of this because he says we don't have no number one wide receiver. Everybody's a number one wide receiver in Kevin Moore's offense, which we all know was wrong.
Yeah. Good call, landlord. Appreciate you. I mean, that ain't landlord shit. That's $100 grand. Shit. Same thing.
So good, my boy.
Appreciate $100 grand. Now, Will Steele, I will say this. That motherfucker Dan Quinn will put his hands on somebody and they just do it. Whatever that one thing that they do, they just magically show up and just do it well, don't it?
And Dan Quinn's a man. Dan Quinn is borderline Andy Reid of the defense, kind of.
Dan is a motherfucker. Dan got Cowboy fans, you know, looking at Van Der Esch and apologizing. Like, hey, man, I'm sorry about it, man. I ain't mean what I said about Van Der Esch, dog. Like,
shit, I would go as far as say more like J-Ron Curses of the world. You know, guys that are because Leighton Van Der Esch was an All-Pro his rookie year, and his first year with Dan wasn't that great. But you get guys like AB to turn around. You get J-Ron Curse to be a Pro Bowler.
You can go down the list, sir.
Carlos Watkins,
I didn't expect 9 sacks from Dorrance Armstrong. You know what I'm saying? Like just you can go down the list. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, bro, just Dan is Israel Mukuamu was a fucking wild card in the playoffs. He was just a magic card. They just motherfucker pulled out the sleeve and just said, ha ha. And goddamn Kellen Moore, I haven't seen not one thing from Kellen to where he's done something like that. You know what I mean?
He ain't make nobody else better, dog.
That's what I'm saying. Kellen ain't elevate nobody, bro. Like, bro, whoever the man, and I don't know if Mike McCarthy gonna be, you know, if he's gonna be able to do that or whatever. We'll see, but or Schottenheimer or Solari, but dog, like take a dude on take an unassuming dude off my offense and turn that motherfucker into Miles Austin or something. You know what I mean? Just make him just a dude that's just gonna show up like, hey, where he come from? He playing his role, but that motherfucker convert first downs. Like, he ain't got to be a star. He ain't got to be a guy. You know what I'm saying? But he'll have 5 important catches a game for you. He'll get you 3 first downs. He'll get you a touchdown here or there. Like, where them dudes at? You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker Dan Quinn taking 7-round picks, 5th, 6th round picks and making a shake, boy. Pause if I need to, but goddamn, man, come on, offense, give me one of them.
It'll help if you don't get rid of one of those guys for a bag of chips in the 5th round pick. You know, that also helps. But hey,
talking about the one that run routes real good that the quarterback love.
That Pro Bowl dude,
yeah, that motherfucker.
That helps.
God damn it. Let's get DJ in here, man. What's up, DJ?
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on?
What's good, player?
Hey, man. So the more and more I look at it, because I kind of thought about this yesterday, is that, you know, Sky's been talking about how, like, we need a GM who has fear.
Yes.
And when you look at both of the Super Bowl teams, you know, midway through the season, even though they went out and they got a Jordan Davis and all that kind of stuff, people were saying, hey, you know, this defense is strong, but there's a weakness. It's interior run defense.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's like how he went over there, like, look, Mr. Laurie, I got Linval Joseph, I got Ndamukong Suh, I got these guys. You can't say that I didn't help. You know, you can't say I didn't go out there and get guys.
Yeah.
And the same thing kind of happened with Kansas City, where they got rid of Tyreek Hill, and then all of a sudden they went out and got a Juju. They went out and got an MVS, but also midway through the season, they needed somebody who could bounce off Sky Moore with a little bit more open field playmaking. They went out and got Kadarius Toney. Like they deal in fear, so that there's no question. Like, hey, I heard what they all said about this needing to be addressed, and I addressed the hell out of it.
Sure.
Even too much so, because now like there's all these 1-year deals that the Eagles have to deal with, and they have to look at going forward. And like for instance, the Titans, after they played the Eagles, the GM got fired and they got a first, and we're over here giving up Amari Cooper for a fifth. Like there's so much lack of just movement and urgency when there's a problem, because they just be like, oh, well, we like our guys. And, we are asking for them to do something in free agency, and they were like, oh, well, we got weapons at home, that kind of thing. And that's the most frustrating thing year in and year out, when it's almost consistently the same problems and the same issues. They might be in different areas and at different positions, but it's always consistently, we like our guys, and they draft super, super well, and they have been. But outside of that, those guys don't develop, and by the time they're ready to develop, you done paid 6 other people, so you just got to let those guys walk. And we're talking about conditional picks, or what, I forget the name of it. But that's my biggest problem. Yeah. That we can talk about all the guys and do all of that, and I really enjoyed what Sky did this morning, because he was talking about it not only on the free agents that are available, but the free agents that are truly going to be in the realm of possibility, because they have to be cheap. They can't be too big of a name, because that's going to be too big of a draw and demand too much money. We're over here hoping that some guy in free agency just pops on a regular basis, and we just need a done deal, a for sure thing year in and year out, because the teams that are making to the Super Bowl have the for sure guys year in and year out, plus the addition of the stuff, the draft picks that pop, the guys that develop it and turn it into something special. But it's all of it put together, and we're just depending on hoping like a J-Ron Curse comes in and outperforms his contract by tenfold.
Yeah. Appreciate you, DJ. Good call, man. Will Steele, you want to know something that'll bother the shit out of me for real, man? If we walk out of this offseason going, well, okay, you got Lamb, and Gallup is a year. He's a year removed from his surgery, and we drafted Jalen Hurts. He should have a better grasp of the playbook now. And we got Semi going to be wide receiver 4. I hope we don't just walk out. I hope we don't walk out this offseason not really doing very much in the wide receiver department, because we got guys that should be better now than last year. I hope not. I think
that was my whole thing last year. I didn't like that approach of, hey, we're just going to bank on people just getting better. I mean, every team could bank on dudes getting better. You still got to bring in dudes. And they admit it. We messed up. They admit it without saying it, right? By trying to go get the Odells and the TYs and the all the other receivers in the trade market. And then they came out and said, hey, dog, we thought that South Alabama kid was going to be like that. We thought that Michael Gallup on one leg was going to be like that. So who is advising you this? Who's checking you? Nobody.
Right. If it's me, I need to move like Gallup and Tober don't exist. So if Gallup does, if Gallup does get better, and if Tober don't line up at corner, you at least go, oh man, now we got whoever we just added, plus we get better Gallup and we got better Tober. You just can't bank on having them dudes and be like, all right, that's all we're gonna do, bro. Like that'll bother the shit out of me if that's what we did, man.
You need to bring in dudes that can push guys off this roster. Yes. Like vehemently, they would push them off. There's no questions asked. There's no, Dennis Houston made some routine plays, maybe. Nah, you need dudes like be like, yo, hey, Simi, we good here.
Yep.
Hey, Gallup, I know we paid you, but this dude is balling, so you are 3. Like you need dudes that's gonna push these guys down the roster or off of it.
And funny enough, Will, that's exactly what happened on the D line, right? Like, man, y'all motherfuckers, we ain't just have a whole bunch of D line spots. Carlos Watkins ain't go back. That man ain't go back to practice squad, you know what I'm saying? And then we add a Hankins, you know what I mean? And before you know, what's the name was playing in Tennessee. Basham was in Tennessee. Like, boy, like we playing against Basham this week. He was just on the team. Hey, good dudes get. I want to have this conversation in training camp and go, damn, I like that dude. We just too good. We just too good there. We just stacked right there. I want to cut Nashawn right and be like, yo, man, we just deep at corner, bro. It is what, you know what I mean? Is where we at, but we'll see. I don't want to just roll in with Josh Ball.
Bro. If they come out in this free agency class, and even in a draft, for being honest, with James Washington and this year's Jalen Tolbert, that's your replacement. I don't know what else to say about the front office. Just doesn't care. Yeah.
Go get me Jerry Jeudy, man. This ain't got to be hard. Let's put a little more legs on these callers. Well, I ain't rushing you, but let's not linger. Allie, what up?
What's up, Voch? How you doing?
Cool, my guy. What you got for the show?
Oh, not too much. You've been sleeping great. I've been sleeping for shit.
Oh,
but we've been in Super Bowl 3 times in the past 20 years, but lost 2 of them, so that kind of sucks. But if you guys want to go, got some quick insight for you. And you kind of already talked about it. It's 2 things. It's coaching and it's role players. So real quick. So you're talking about draft and free agency, right?
Oh, you're an Eagles fan.
Just,
you're an Eagles fan. Okay. No, go ahead. No.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, Jeff Stoutland, best O-line coach in the league, I'd say by a mile. Of course, I'm biased, right? Got to get a great coach in there that actually knows roles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trying to replace great players like Jason Kelce, maybe a GOAT center for years. And whenever you have someone great, you always want to bring in someone greater. And so we brought in Sayumalu to replace him. But then he ended up being a great left guard, and then he was a pretty good right guard. We're replacing his ass this year. You always want to get better. We drafted Dickerson to play center, and then we moved him to left guard, and he's been great. So we can talk about it. You can ask me whatever the hell you want because I'm sort of an Eagles expert, but that's basically the thing. You got to get great coaches, and you got to figure out what people are great at. I think Dan Quinn for you guys is actually a great example of what you're looking for from a coordinator level. I don't know about your position coaches or whatever that. You got to get the coaching right, and you got to get the role players right, and then you can be great. Even get to a Super Bowl soon-ish.
Cool. Sounds good. Allie, the Eagles fan expert. Appreciate you, man.
Sure.
I know one of the better Eagle calls that we've ever had. Gotta give it to him. What's the dude's name?
You, the plane you flew in on, them shoes, your socks with the bell on it, your ass accent, them cheap ass cigars, your yuck mouth teeth, your hairpiece, your chocolate, Guy Ritchie, Prince William, the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue. I get the out of my hotel room, and if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the out of you.
I don't condone violence, but shouts out to Allie though. Allie said
that's his name,
Blade Brown. Yeah. He Allie said we need coaching and we need role players. That's what me and Will still say. So appreciate you, Allie, the Eagles expert. Good call. That look, to be fair, that is better than most our Eagles calls.
One of the better Eagle calls we've had.
The bar ain't high though. The bar is not high, but that is one of our better Eagle calls though. So shouts out to you, Allie. Let's get Uncle Charlie on the phone, man. What's up, Uncle?
What's up, Kings? How y'all doing?
Man, we chilling, man. We just trying to make it do what it do, you know.
Let me tell you something. What an enlightening program today. Good show. And everything I say is what you're saying, and everything I said, we might well collaborate together on the next album. Let me tell you something, man. It makes no difference what we do or who we get. Until Jerry Jones get out the way, this team can't move forward. And I'll tell you why. If the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, was interested in winning a championship, then how come Will McClay ain't the general manager? When you get through with that question, I'll be waiting on the answer. Let me tell you something, man. Stop going getting these players that got no more tread on their tires. Now, I'm pretty you got a durable vehicle, and when you go to the tire place, you don't get no bald head tires. You don't go to Pole Boys. You go to Goodyear, Firestone. You go something that's going to last a little long. That's where you go, because that's how you go. But like a guy like me, if one pop off out there right now, if I got Pole Boy money, I'm going to Pole Boys. It might pop off for next week, but at least I don't roll for 5 days. Let me tell you something, man. You can't go nowhere until Jerry gets out of the way. He's the dentist. He's the archbishop. He's the pastor. He's the organizer. He all that. He AKA Mr. Wrinkle. He all that. And he just won't step out the way. And until this man step out the way and let McCarthy and let these coaches do their job, we're not going to go anywhere. Now, maybe somebody may argue me down to the ground. Well, you'll be down there by your damn self because I'm going to still be standing when it's all over with. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something, man. You have to change. Even when I lost my job, I had to get another job. So I had to take on a job called We Kill Them Bugs. I became a roach killer. That's all right. I didn't like it, but I dealt with it. Then I get to this house, and the lady got roaches in there so big they were wearing goggles. And then the whole house smelled like turpentine and ass. But I had to do a job. I had to get it done. But what really made me want to go find another job, when I seen her with a pair of pants standing up in the middle of her kitchen with nobody in them, I said, I got to do something else with my life. That's all I got to say. You got to be willing to change.
Wait, you say you went in her kitchen and you saw a pair of pants standing up with nobody in them?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're starched and everything. So I know I had to get to something. I had to change. I had to get another job. And I'm going to say this in closing real quick. Let me explain something to you. Stop going over to having them in my house and eat. We went over one of my great cousins. And she said, come on, everybody. Come on around the table and let me cut the turkey. And she cut it. Grease shot at the side and dressed the wall. Mama said, go on, get you something to eat, sir. I said, no, Mama, I'm cool right over here. But everybody else ate, and it ran through them like the Mississippi River. And that's all I got to say, players. Appreciate y'all.
Uncle Charlie, ladies and gentlemen. Shouts out to Charlie, man.
Uncle Charlie, ladies and gentlemen.
Shouts out to Charlie. That motherfucker said, he said he was an exterminator. He went to a house that had roaches so big they had goggles on.
Went to the kitchen. Yeah.
A pair of pants was standing up with nobody in them, man. Come on, man. That's crazy. God damn, boy. Sorry, Steve. You got to follow it up, man. Go ahead, Steve. What you got, man?
Oh, man. Why do you got to make me follow Charlie?
My bad, man. Hey, man, normally, like, I just hold on to Charlie and let him go last because I know it's hard to follow him up, man. But he was waiting for a minute, man. I ain't want to just keep him waiting like that. But dadgummit, man. Sorry, Steve, but you got this, Steve. Make us laugh. Go ahead.
All right.
You got it.
So, first of all, Joe Sandberg got a good nickname for him. I'm going to call him Buffering. Like it. So, there's something about Sirianni that I've just always, he's just got that slappable face to start with. But now it came to me what I don't like about him. He's like that emotional, crazy girlfriend that starts fights, talks shit to everybody, and then says, well, my boyfriend's going to kick your ass. You know, he stands behind his defensive line and his offensive line and talks shit all day long. But he's just that little emotional, crazy bitch at the end of the day. So bad juju to him and his Eagles because they don't know the room for booing Dak Prescott as Man of the Year. That award is not Best Player of the Year.
It's
that
an evil world we live
that
in.
Helps their community more than anyone else. So fuck them for their
Wouldn't let that shit happen
booing
to me,
him
though.
at awards. All right.
Good call. Go ahead.
Today's supposed to be a draft content, correct?
Yeah.
What do you think of Jackson Smith in Jigba? Let me ask you that first. What do you think of Jackson Smith and Jigba, or JSN they're calling him?
Cool player. It kind of took me a while to figure him out, and I ask a lot of people about him, and they all have the same kind of opinion that, you know, he just good. You know what I mean? And I really don't like to believe in the dudes that's just good, but I don't know how they're good. You know what I mean? He's not going to run the best. He's not going to measure the best, but he is a get open guy. He is a spacing guy. He is a ball tracky guy, ball skill guy. You know what I mean? So he's a fun player, and I think he might be available for us at 26. I'm not banking on that, but I think he might be a guy that'll fall in the draft a little bit because I don't think he's going to test very well. But the tape is good tape. I just didn't know how to explain how good the tape was, but he finds open space and he shows himself open. He's actually a Dak type receiver, actually, but good player though. Solid dude.
Do you think it would help your give you any more good vibes towards him to know he's a lifelong Cowboys fan who said he'll turn it up anytime he's playing in Jerry World, and that if he was to go to the Cowboys, it would be something definitely extra special?
Hell nah, he don't get extra points. If he ain't the best dude on the board, then shit, I don't care who you a fan of. Give me the best dude. I don't give a fuck who you rooting for. If we draft you gonna root for us anyway. You know what I mean? So nah, I don't care.
Yeah. All right. I was just curious. Thanks. You guys have a good one.
Appreciate it, Steve. Jalen Carter could be a bank robber, and that motherfucker fall to 26. We say, yeah, man, I grew up watching football. Wizards fan. Come on though. Come bring your ass on. Look. If the Cowboys play on Sunday and Washington play Monday, cheer for them on Monday. But come on.
If JSN is there at 26, I'm running to the podium.
Yeah, good dude at 26. Good dude at 26. I think one of the three top receivers will be there. I think Quentin Johnson, Jordan Addison, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. One of those three dudes will be there. I think some team is going to take Jalen Hyatt high and is going to push the other guys down. And I don't think Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to test very well in terms of his combine numbers. You know, these teams love they measurables, they analytics, and they combine numbers. But Jackson Smith and Jigba has the film to back it up. You know what I mean? So I think as a film guy, I think he'll possibly be a guy to fall to 26 or whatever. But and then just in general, this is a general draft question while we're talking about it. Like some of the top ranked dudes, and the more film Will watches, we'll talk about this one day. But like some of the highest ranked dudes, I'm just not a fan of. I'm just not a fan of like where they're being projected to draft. And some of my favorite guys are on the back of the draft. You know, I'm not a Miles Murphy fan, or rather, because Miles Murphy is there at 26, I'll take him. But Miles Murphy, the Northwestern kid, the tackle or whatever, you know, some of these other guys, man, I'm just not fans of them that high. You know what I mean? But they're gonna go that high because that's just what happens. And then you got 4 quarterbacks, so you just hoping that it just push guys down, you know, down the board or whatever, and that good guys fall to you. 26 is a pretty far fall, hoping that a good dude falls to you. But this is the draft where some of my favorite players so far, DeJuan Jones, we had an extended talk about him in the Patreon. Some of my favorite plays this season have just been from DeJuan Jones, and he has another guy, Paris Johnson, on that same offensive line from Ohio State, the left tackle, who's mocked higher than him because he's a high ceiling guy. You know, he has the athleticism, right? But DeJuan Jones, in my opinion, just film to film, DeJuan Jones has better film to me. You know what I mean? But he's not a guy that's being talked about in the first, but he's a guy that's talked about in the early second or whatever. So all my favorite players so far, they just fall into where my team drafted at. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's just because my team drafted at 26, but ask a Falcons fan, ask a Raiders fan. I mean, you can ask an Eagles fan or whatever, but the guys is being mocked that high. Like we saw a mock with Foskey in the top 10. I'd be sick as hell if I had a 10th overall pick and I got Foskey. I got Foskey, or I got Miles Murphy or something, Skoronski. Well, I'd be pissed off if I got one of them dudes in the top 10, but that's what they're talking about going. So it's what it is. Let's get these last 2 callers out of the way, and then we go on boogie. Los, what up?
Good afternoon, Voch.
Clear your throat, man.
One thing, my bad.
There you go, clear your throat, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
We good.
But anyway,
we good. Take your time.
Right.
Take your time, Pastor. Take your time.
My bad. I'm my bad.
Yeah.
I do think you're onto something, Voch. We're more than able to score the ball, especially if you tell me we still have CD and Tony. However, like you're saying, who's my play caller, and does he scheme my players open?
Sure.
And what type of blocking schemes are we calling to get the best out of our running backs? And we have yet to see the Turpins of the world are truly capable of, because if there's one thing I wish the Cowboys would do, is give the rookies, putting them more into the fire and see what you can do as a coach to overcome their weakness. And they're showing in the next level, but damn it, use their strength. Voch?
Yep.
And I'll land them playing here, Voch. Cowboys have always had a tendency to add talent, but they almost give it away for a nickel and dime. And the main example that recently always popped up is Amari Cooper now. I truly don't know why you're taking talent out when everyone else in the league is trying to have 2 or 3 wide receivers on their team that are more than capable of to be, at least open for your quarterback to, catch the ball. And I do think you do need 2 weapons in this league, but it's how you use them, right? So I have confidence in Mike McCarthy switching everything up for the better. And Voch, let me say this: the NFC is still wide open, especially if Aaron Rodgers were to switch conference and take the Raiders quarterback vacancy. And I'll take Dak over any NFC quarterback remaining there. Peace, Voch.
I agree, and I don't think that's Cowboy bias at all. I mean, the NFC, it's just the NFC. All the gangsters on the other side. Gangsters on the other side. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Somebody can be like, well, Daniel Jones, the top 3 quarterback, he better than that. All right, motherfucker. But these Giants fans tried that shit. Did for like a week and a half. They were talking that they was talking that bullshit. Daniel Jones better than Dak, please.
Because nobody paid them attention.
Yeah, we not going there, bro. We're not going there. Some pretty good draft commentary in the chat box. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Somebody said Penn State got any more Sean Lee or Micah Parsons to draft? Hey, I'll tell you what. Alabama got to do. I mean, Arkansas got to do. Drew Sanders. That motherfucker can play some linebacker. He can pass rush a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't saying he's Sean Lee. That's a God lover dude. Just his knees hurt and shit. And I ain't saying he Micah. That's a God lover dude. You know what I mean? But there's shades of both in him.
I think he wants to be Lee. I do. I think I'm pretty sure that's probably why he left. Right, to go play more middle linebacker, not be a rusher.
Yep, to go show what he can do, man. Love that. What up, White?
What up, Black?
White 662 White. What up?
Reminds me of a movie. Coffee.
Black. White.
Oh no.
White. White. I hit the button. What's this shit?
Oh man.
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
And the chat dropping snake emojis. I love that. Shout out.
When you said White, that reminded me of Zach and Mary Make a Porno.
Yeah.
When Craig Robinson was, hi, can I have a coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
That's funny. That's funny. That's hilarious, Will Smith.
I love that line.
God damn, that's funny. All right. Let's do these. Hurts, Smith, Goff, Fields, Purdy, Prescott.
You can always tell who knows what, man. David in the chat said, yo, what the hell was that skippity doppity doo-wop?
Yeah, I never heard that. Man, look, we was in Twitch and we was listening to hip hop samples that day. And we ran across Grace Jones nightclubbing. And of course it was sampled by Shine. So I was like, hey man, whenever I laugh hard as hell, I'm just gonna make it. Or I hear somebody talking some nonsense. So in my mind, when Charlie call in or when like Marv call in, I don't know what the hell they saying. Because Marv be like, you got this. You know what I mean? So that's how I would do that.
Shout out to Shine.
That's how we'll do that. Pulling guns out they hosiery. All right, let's do this. What I gotta do? He out of jail. This song came out a long time ago. Shine performed at the BET Awards. Yeah, he free.
Well, I know that's not Shine. I'm just saying that's the song.
Oh yeah. That's the song. Yeah.
Now, somebody in the chat said it's not Shine though. Duh. But.
Yeah, it's yeah. Let's see. Supers. I gotta go get a drop from a Future. You know, they call him Super. So when we get in the Supers, we'll have a drop for Super. We're gonna do that. All right, let's go. On the volume side, let's do these super chats. Today is the 14th. Appreciate y'all. Shaq the Vikings fan, toxic 4-8 check down. Man, look, bro, that is madness though. Like on the last play of the game to qualify playoffs in the next round, you check that mug down on 4th and 8. That is madness. I feel you, bro.
Wow.
That's madness. That's madness, bro. God damn. The Hawkinson. He ain't yet guy like that, man. Here we go. He says he dropped a deuce. Appreciate you, sir. He says use pictures on your buttons so you remember the drops. Well, I remember the drops. It's just that my problem is I want a 40 button drop machine. I only got 8, 8 buttons, and I got to go like through the docks or whatever. But if it's, I want a piano worth of drops. I want a whole keyboard worth of shit. You know what I mean?
You got to get the thing I told you to get. But even then, bro, like I still want one of them boards too, and we can get that technically.
Brumley.
We'll talk.
Tap in with us.
Why you say it like that?
Brumley? I call my listen, let me tell you where it come from. Let me tell you where it come from. Let me tell you where it come from. I was on a live stream one day, right? And Brumley, like my game day live so chill and laid back. I tell Brum, I say, Brum, man, you need to take a break, man. Go walk your dog or use the bathroom or something. Go and do your business. I caught myself talking like that one day because I had to go use the bathroom. So I was like, all right, Brum, we about to go and take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. And ain't nothing changed, right? I was like, Brum, Brumley, Brumley, and I heard myself. So it's just in my Brumley.
Yeah, it sounds like you in your rich ass house and tea, please.
Brumley, bring Lucille. Bring Lucille. Back to work.
Lucille for these vegans.
Come on. But appreciate y'all though. Appreciate you, brother Shaq. Salute. Shaq, be in the Twitch later. We're gonna go live and play Hogwarts.
Hold on, I'm sorry. David said the skippity doo wop gonna live rent free in my head forever, bro. Why I keep calling it the skippity doo wop?
Dog, it's not skippity doo wop.
Don't disrespect.
It's skilly, waddle diddly, diddly dollar, dollar diddly.
Just play the song in your Twitch for him so he can understand.
It's skiddly waddle dollar diddly. Skiddly waddle diddly dollar diddly diddly.
Skiddly whoa.
Skiddly whoa. Brother L dropped a deuce, says you can't miss shows and need it on a t-shirt. Got you. I don't know who from the volume is watching, but we'll see. Amazing show, Sky and Voch. Also want to thank Voch for being able to walk around all day calling Eagles fans clickers. Appreciate you, man. That's what they are. They can't see, but they hear real good, so they run up on you when they hear shit, but they can't see. They can't see shit like Dak Prescott beating the shot of their team every week. Like they don't see that. They fun guy.
David, if you wanna really listen to a skippity doo wop, go watch Nothing to Lose, and the Scatman scene where the bull's feet is on fire. That's more skippity doo wop.
Skippity doo wop. If you ever heard Afro Man, cause it got high, like the whole version at the end of he did skippity bee bop boo bye, like he does that at the end. That's what that is. But nah, this is skiddly waddly, right? Skiddly whoa. It's different. It's level. That's high level skiddly. Boys and Men does, they do a bunch of doo-wop too. So Ivan Loreno dropped a dime and says, what y'all think about trading Trey Diggs?
Excuse me, what?
Let me read in my mind first. Let me read in my mind first so far we got a lot. Okay. That last sentence crazy. Check this out, Will Steele. He dropped a dime. Ivan Loreno dropped a dime and says, what y'all think about trading Trey Diggs? I feel like Trey is going to be more difficult to sign than CD or Micah. I'm sure we can get multiple top 100 picks. You ready for this sentence? I love Trey, but I feel he is expendable.
I just have no more hope no more. If we're just scared to sign dudes, so they're gonna be expensive, then yeah, trade them all. Trade them all by year 3, and just hope for the best. At some point, you got to pay the top guys, man. Trey Diggs, one of the best corners in the league. Now, if the question was, if the Cowboys elect to not agree to sign him long term,
yes,
would you look to trade him? That would be the better question.
But that need to be the last year of his contract. That needs to be at the very end. You know what I'm saying? And that need to be
actually that's this year.
This year, and I need some compensation though. I need a lot. I need some shit. But just trade them because you think he expendable. That's a lot, bro.
Oh, he called him expendable.
I love Trey, but I feel like he's expendable.
Oh, damn! All pros just expendable. All right.
Yeah, man, shutting down. You know, Jamar Chase ain't shit. You know, shutting down Justin Jefferson ain't about nothing. You know what I mean? It ain't shit. You know what I mean? AJ Brown. You know, whatever.
Nah. I mean, our cornerbacks opposite of Trey Diggs is Bossman Fat, Jordan Lewis, and we love DeRon Bland, but I mean, we got about 8 games of DeRon Bland. We need,
and we only got one DeRon Bland.
We got one DeRon Bland.
We got 3 of the motherfuckers. Appreciate it for the super chat though. Thanks for supporting the show. DJ Drop 5 says, "Damn, I just went back and listened to my call. You could have told me to take a breath. You was a little huffy and puffy, but I thought you was in a rush now. My bad. It's your show." Salute, DJ. Good. Salute. Appreciate the contribution, brother.
L is funny.
L is hilarious, man. L, since we mentioned him, he just dropped a 5. It says the volume just dropped Jenkins Jones pod hoodies. So, Brumley,
hold on, Voch. I'm glad you did that. Please pull that audio so that could be a drop now.
the Brumley,
yes.
What hold on. Wait. Time. The volume dropped Jenkins and Jones pod hoodie. So, Brumley, fetch thy Voch and Sky merch post haste. Post haste. That mean today now. That mean hurry up now. Immediately, expeditiously now. Will, why the fuck L put the finger like I said?
Right.
Brumley?
He's on
like
point.
I just see the hand whip.
Yo, Brumley is about to be our version of Victor from what's the podcast name? The Bodega Boys.
Yeah.
Brumley about to be famous. They don't even know what he look like.
Right. Shouts out to Brumley. Brum Dog Millionaire. True Believer dropped the deuce and says, Jeff Nixon let go by Carolina, possible running back coach?
Yes.
Was Jeff Nixon the dude that we was Rooney ruling?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. I
So
didn't know
hey,
that. Yeah.
So shit, we interviewed him. So bring his ass in. Do we get picks for that? For that, make him running back coach?
They would, I think, get picks if he was an offensive coordinator.
Okay, so it gotta be coordinated. Yeah,
well, you get picks if your staff goes on to elevate.
If our staff elevates.
Yeah. So if
San Francisco got all.
If Skip Pete was to go be an offensive coordinator somewhere.
We ain't getting that fucking pick. We ain't getting that fucking. Don't nobody want Lunda Wells calling plays in that motherfucker. Let's up out of there, boy. I'll be damn. I bet we ain't getting no picks, boy. Shit. San Francisco racking up, ain't they? Will still.
Hell yeah, they is.
The rich get richer, man. We need to AD Black, huh?
Bro, they got a pick. They got a pick for Mike McDaniels.
Hey man, put me on mute. Put me on mute, Will. Still, hit me up.
Go ahead. You off mute now.
All right.
The NFL going down the line. What's up? Comp pick. They get to Mike McDaniels. 1/8 black. Oh, man. What's good, man?
That's enough. They hold the chart up. They go, yeah, that's enough. That'll do it. Well, why we do this?
I promise y'all, we don't have no problems with nothing. We good.
Yeah, we got no problem with that. Coach AD black though, right? The cat from London.
100% looks like Logic. Coach AD.
The D-line coach, he's black, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, one day he'll be defense coordinator somewhere, hopefully. Joe Witt one day if he gets hired somewhere. Hopefully we get that. I don't know why we just fired George Edwards. George just go get a job somewhere coaching for some team that don't want. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, this ain't about picks, man. This is about equality and representation and inclusion.
I would love for a British coach to be a head coach. Just to listen to him try to, you know.
Brumley?
That was about to say.
Run the stunt. I need more. I need more effort from you.
They love him though. But man, I'm too much of a goofball, but I don't know if I could take a British coach seriously like the whole time.
Yeah, just the sound of them. But but we get D-line production out of them. Dan Quinn.
No, they love him. They love him. Yeah,
they love him. Let's get to the Voch side before we wrap up the show. He's running late. DJ super chatting on both sides. He's wealthy. Let's see. Raw Mark.
This bloody wanker.
This bloody wanker. This bloody zebra wanker.
They gonna have to teach coach how to cuss.
Throwing the yellow handkerchief there like it was holding. Bloody. That's Australia. Deontay, that was yesterday. Raw Mark dropped a dime and says Tajay Spears as carries. 231 carries, 1,586 yards, 19 touchdowns, 6.9 yards per attempt. Yards after contact was a good measuring stick for college to pro transitional success. And Tajay Sanders has a higher yards after contact per ATT. I don't know what ATT is than Bijan, O-line round 1 of Philly. Tajay Spears, the Tulane kid, I believe. I haven't watched running backs yet, but I hate watching running backs and I hate watching DBs, but we're gonna watch both of them soon. So hang tight. We'll see. Probably on Patreon. We'll be doing that soon. Guillotine 06 Drop 5 says, give me Kenny McIntosh, running back from Georgia in the 4th round, and let's boogie. I see a lot more and more people saying, hey, let's take these running backs later. We'll still. Yeah. They agree. Mr. Inglewood 77 Drop Producer says, Voch, you the best football caster out here. Peace. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you. And Ralph 707 Drop 5 says, what's up, Voch? For all the overweight cowboy, come on. For all the overweight cowboy fans like myself, what is your diet? So on days where I need carbs, like my hard workout days, when I go to dojo, I do my Muay Thai thing. I burn a lot of calories in there. So I try to get carbs in prior to those workouts, right? But on days when I'm either not working out, on days where I'm just kind of like lifting or whatever, on days where, or like after I do the Muay Thai workout, that's when I try to not have carbs in my life at all. So the only time I'm having carbs is pre-dojo work. And it's been working out pretty cool. I would love for the shit to fall off of me, but that ain't how bodies work. But we just been slowly but surely just working on it. And at some point I'm going to get some peanut butter involved and we're going to boogie. All right. Chat. I saw Marcus Harrison over here. Professor O says Voch is eating peanut butter cornbread. Well, did I tell you that I actually tried peanut butter? Like I actually put together a recipe and made it happen.
You sent me. Remember I told you to send it to me? You sent it to me.
There you go. Whenever you do the thing and we have a celebrate, we're gonna make some peanut butter cornbread.
Down, brother, down.
Marcus Harrison in here somewhere. I saw him earlier. If you in here, we'll give you a couple seconds. Let's turn the music up while we wait on Marcus Harrison. There go Marcus Harrison. Here we go. There go Marcus Harrison. Cut this off. Why I gotta clap when I do the music now? What's gonna happen? We'll see. It's from now on. I gotta do the Brumley clap before I do the music.
The clap is so entitled. First, you gotta hear me first. Then I'm gonna call you.
Wipe us. Oh, how you think I can actually use the bathroom by myself? That's funny, motherfucker. Bring him in to wipe your ass. Like I was saying though, Will Steele. Marcus Hardison says he blessed us with a little knowledge today. Hold on, let me put the glasses on for Marcus Hardison. Here we go. Marcus Hardison says, at the volume, that's me and Will Steele, by the way. At the volume, There is only one good. Knowledge. There is only one evil. Ignorance. Come on, Will Steele. Hey, come on, man. There is only one good. Knowledge. There is only one evil. Ignorance. Voch and Sky are too fly for the clouds and too down for the green grass. Lions sleep outside. UNLV. Shouts out to you. Prayers for you and all involved and the family and all that. Thank you so much, Marcus Harris, for blessing us with another one. Fight ignorance, ladies and gentlemen. That's the real evil.
Yeah.
That's the real evil. Fight the ignorance, man. Another great show. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all to pieces. We got a little bit of work to do, man, and then in the rest of this day, man. I gotta I'll probably put a little film session, something like probably get that Will Anderson joint out. After that, we'll probably do a little bit of Patreon. I might do some Will Anderson work on the Patreon to get my little timestamps or whatever. We'll do that. Patreon.com/Voch Lombardi, where we watch the film as a whole. And of course, I'll be dropping the film over on the Voch Lombardi channel. Y'all go check that out. We go live Monday through Thursday at 3 p.m. Central, 3-ish, 06 Central. Appreciate y'all. 306 Central. Follow me on all my social medias. Voch Lombardi, VOCHLOMBARDI, my non-football platform, twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. If we end in a timely fashion today, then I'll probably be hopping on Twitch. If not, don't forget it's Valentine's Day, motherfucker. So I might just do Twitch tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll cross the road whenever we get there. All right. My point guard, Will Steele. Appreciate you, sir. Follow him at Skywalker Steele. Skywalker, STEELE. Check him out, A to Z Dallas in the morning, 8:30 to 10:30. He does good work. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all hold down for the Doski, Woski, the Peace, Weezy, Skippy, the Boo Bop. Volume.
Beats Planet.
Me.